Okay, so I'm sitting inside of a 2018 Honda CRV EXL. This is going to be the Basque Red Pearl with the gray interior, just for the sake of knowing it when I start walking through the car in case you see anything. So I'll start you off over here. It's going to have auto up and down windows, your power window locks, your regular locks, and then your mirror controls, if you can see them up there. Up here on the door, you'll notice it does have memory seating, so the EXL model comes with that. They started doing that in 2017, so a little bit different from previous years. Jumping over here onto the dash, so you're going to notice a couple buttons here in the top left area. This is my road departure mitigation. It's always on unless I turn it off, and you just press it and hold to turn off. This is going to be my collision mitigated braking system. So this is what will stop the car if it's looking like I'm going to get in a wreck. I can turn that on and off too, in case you're wondering. My trunk release. So just keep that in mind. That's what's on this right here. And then this is traction control. This is actually vehicle stability assist. It works with your traction control. It's always on unless you turn it off too. Only time you want to turn this off is if you wanted to spin your tires because you were stuck in the mud, something like that. So let's jump up here to the steering wheel. Start you on the left side. It's going to look real familiar from your 2017 year model. To answer a phone call, to hang up a phone call, to use Bluetooth controls as far as voice commands. So I can press this, and if I have an Apple phone, I can get to Siri. If I'm using, OK Google, I can get to the same thing with my Android-based phone. Jumping top and down, this will switch between my stations, or excuse me, not stations, but like FM, AM. You can see it's toggling through up here, anything that I have connected to the car audio-wise. And then my left and right will jump between my favorite stations that I have saved. So that's what's going on there. My volume controls, you'll see, are right here. So that's what's going on here. The I button is just going to be a general menu button, so this will give me opportunities to change so if I want, okay, I want to see my maintenance, see when my oil life is due, or I want to jump over to my audio and see what I'm listening to while I'm driving, that sort of thing. That's just what it allows me to see right there. So normally people would press a little button, your tripometer thing, which you still do have. It's right over here if I want to toggle through some stuff. You can see down there at the bottom, it's toggling through as far as my trip, my mileage on the car, things like that. On the lights, you'll see it does have auto lights I can set up, and then this car does come with fog lights since it's an EXL model. Your EX and above comes with that, so I have the auto lights set up. And then I have intermittent windshield wipers on the right side. My Honda sensing features are going to be on the right side of the steering wheel. So to activate them and get ready, you'd press main. When you press main, you'll see it light up ACC and LKAS. ACC is adaptive cruise control. LKAS is lane keep assist. So lane keep assist is right here. You got to be going 45 miles an hour to 90 miles an hour to use it. You'll hit this button, you'll see it come up on the dash up there, so you can see it right there. When it fills in solid, it means the camera is now reading the road. That camera is up here by your mirror, so hey, there's me, by the way. So the camera's gonna be in that box up there. When it's reading, those will fill in solid, and you'll be going down the road, and you'll feel it. If it starts to move the wheel, it's just pulling you slightly. It's like having a slight pull to your car. If you're using adaptive cruise control. So once I get up to the speed I want, I'd press set. It'll set it for me. From there, I can set the distance between me and the car in front of me with this. So you'll see I'm creating distance. When it's reading a car and it uses the radar and the grill to read the car, you'll see a car eye icon show up there too. So it'll look like just what you're seeing right here. So to set, to cancel, to resume, and this is to adjust my speed. So if I want to increase it, if I want to decrease it from whatever I set it to. So that's what's going on there. All right, let's jump over to the center stack. So touchscreen's been the same since 2017, but I'll walk you through it here. You can see I do have some buttons on the side. The big addition from 17 was the audio knob, because I know a lot of people were complaining they wanted one. So audio-wise, I'll jump in here and kind of show you what you got. So you can see it pulled up FM. I can jump over to my source button. This is all my options for the car. Sirius XM comes in the EX and above. It does have Bluetooth, it does have Pandora. Now, I will tell you one quick thing about this. I like using Bluetooth even if I'm using Pandora or Spotify, because if you're using Pandora, it will lock up the phone if you're using the app. So I recommend using the Bluetooth symbol because it won't lock up your phone, and that way if you get that text that has the address you're going to or something important you need to get to, you can still use your phone to do it. So not that I'm condoning using your phone, but in case you do need to. Let's jump back to the home button. So info, this gives you an opportunity to get to like tripometer information, stuff like that. So if I want that info, I can have it right here. I can also have, general screensaver, stuff like that there too. So I don't know if you saw those other options that I pulled up. So clock, screensaver, stuff like that. So let's jump back to home. Honda Link, this is where I can get my VIN. It'll give me maintenance reminder, stuff like that. So right now, not a whole lot other than just some general service info for your car. Eventually there'll be a little bit more there that you can take advantage of, but right now it's just a simple setup. My Bluetooth, so if I have my phone connected, that's where I would go. While I'm talking about that, if you want to connect a phone to this car, how to do it, go to settings, and then once this pulls up, I will go to Bluetooth/Wi-Fi, Bluetooth device list, and then from there I would add a Bluetooth device, and it's going to ask me, hey, make sure your Bluetooth is on the car, or excuse me, on the phone, and then you can continue. So that's how you add a phone to a car. Pretty simple process. While I'm there, I'll show you some more settings. Vehicle settings. So if you want to change anything like the door locks, the lighting, anything like that, they're all going to be in here. So door locks is where I'll start, because that's going to be on like a settings worksheet if you bought a car from me, and if not, this is something somebody should have gone over with you. So the default settings on the car right now, if you hit 10 miles an hour to automatically lock the doors, you can change those right here to some other options. When you're getting out of the car, when you open the driver's side door, it'll unlock the remaining doors, and you have some options you can change it to there. And then so forth and so down. You can see down this list. This one's really cool that I like. If you get outside of 10 feet from your car and you didn't lock the doors, it can be set to automatically lock on its own, so you can set that too, just in case, so you don't have to be the guy who worries about, did I lock my car or not? If you have your phone connected up to the car through the USB, and you'll want to use here, let me flip it down so you can see it. I've got 2 USBs down in there, and one of them has a phone on it. If you connect to the one with the phone, that will allow you to go into Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, which this will light up. And depending on what kind of phone you have, you'll see a logo there. You'll be able to select that, and then it'll look like, if you're using an Apple phone, it'll look just like the face of your phone. You'll see your maps, your messages, your music. I think Pandora will show up. Some apps that cross over using the program will be right there and available to you, and it's going to be very familiar. If you are used to using an Android-based phone, which is what I use, it'll pop up and look like the OK Google. You'll see the Google cards. It's very familiar, I should say, look to it, and you'll be able to maneuver through it. If you have questions about that, I have some other videos on that stuff too. Right below, fan control speeds are right here. Climate control, if I want the full touch screen setup to use it, I can. Or you can just control fan speed from here, where the air is going, and then my air temperature, which you can see I'm adjusting right now. EXL model is set up to a dual climate control, if I can get that word out, which I can turn off the sync button, and then I can adjust it here. So just be aware of that. Park and brake is electronic. To use it, I press my foot on the brake, pull up on this trigger to set it, push down to release it. Brake hold is a button I would use if I was in stop and go traffic. If I have this on, what will happen is when I come to a complete stop, it'll hold the brake for me. I can leave it in drive and take my foot off the brake, so it'll hold for me. It's just a convenience feature, so be aware of it. Econ button will improve gas mileage of the car, but it will limit some things inside the vehicle, things like AC unit and acceleration. Outside of that, I'll show you a couple tricks and quick things. You got power outlet here, another power outlet down there with 2 USBs. In the center console, you do have a sliding shelf, which is also adjustable. You can flip it around and throw it in here backwards. So in case you like to keep a tissue box or keep your bag down in there, if you're, a small purse or, clutch or something like that, you can keep it in there to where it's not in the way or sitting in the seat if you have a passenger with you. Outside of that, jump up here, auto dimming mirror. You've got your controls for your moonroof above you. Home link to set it up is right here. I've still got this from previous year models. That's a sunglass holder, and of course the mirror to keep an eye on the kiddos in the back or the dogs or whatever you may have. It is leather interior. You'll notice it has the wood grain finish along it. So great looking car. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can reach me at 512-443-4300 and ask for Justin. You can email me at the letter J and then my last name Fuller. So jfuller@howdyhonda.com, or you can just respond to this YouTube video and I'll help you in any way I can. Thank you much.